Many of them you thought it was mandatory. At first, social life was also kind of lame. In fact, freshman year, William & Mary seems like a place where good times go to die. You were written up for possession of ping pong balls and solo cups. You thought you could start it on the famous triathlon, but got arrested for indecent exposure. Your first date was also a failure. After all, nothing says this relationship is going nowhere quite like dinner at Mamma Mia's and drinks at the library tavern. Some of your girlfriends wanted to join a refined, sophisticated social sorority, but had to settle for Tri Del Dracayo instead. Some of the freshman guys that you knew thought of joining a frat to make themselves look cooler, but only until their first visit to Sigma Chi or Phi Tau. Half your clothes no longer fit when your full meal plan gave you a freshman 15. All you had left were those new shorts and shirts Mom bought you at that year's 10th once-in-a-lifetime outlet mall clearance sale. And no way you were going to wear all those pink and lime pastels. After all, if you're not actually in a sorority, why dress like a Kappa? Or a beta.
He's killing it! Oh my god, he's killing it! Can we just all say we're dying? We're dying. We're actually dying.
After all, it's America's only college town with 25 pancake houses and 8 Christmas shops and 3 student hangouts. And of course, those student hangouts are usually surrounded by SWAT teams from Williamsburg's 8 law enforcement agencies.
Oh, so true.
Lying in wait in America's most watched street corner. It's America's only college town where the average resident is age 75. Only Williamsburg would impose Virginia's strictest noise ordinance when 90% of the residents need hearing aids. Only Williamsburg would limit student rentals with an anti-brothel law. After all, the town's last madam wore a hooped skirt, and her staff left town with the British Army after Yorktown. Then there, of course, was nearby Merchant Square, with one-stop shopping for all your tri-cornered hat and pewter needs. One block further, and you were in colonial Williamsburg itself, a place devoted to the idea that the American Revolution was probably a mistake. A place with so little nightlife, even Amish tourists complain. And a place where the only thing authentically colonial is the stuff you try not to step in while running down Dodge. Back on campus, not all the administrators were terribly helpful. Like that ultimate contradiction in terms, parking services. Wherever you were, you could do even before your engine cooled. Only facilities management reacted that fast. They should probably just start issuing all freshmen with 5 tickets during orientation. It would save time. Then, of course, there was Residence Life, whose website listing those bumped in the housing lottery should just have a direct link to F My Life. But by junior year, you were finally beginning to learn the angles. With wireless classrooms, you could spend lectures checking YouTube while it looked like you were taking notes. You also cracked the code of those other contradictions in terms. Optional reading assignment. Study abroad. And faculty office hours. Since overall things actually got easier for you academically, you passed most of your exams even without needing your roommate's Adderall.
Oh, he just that was a little below the belt.
You found out how to avoid academic stress by going wherever you could be entirely alone, where there was no one else, like one of those Williamsburg trolleys. And thanks to your pass-fail courses, you really could begin to enjoy the secular and bed civil liberal arts education. Roll, juggernaut, roll. By junior year, we also got a new mascot. After a search longer and more secretive than the hunt for Osama bin Laden. Even if the griffin does look like a cloning experiment gone horribly wrong. On the social side, by junior year, you also had cracked the relationship riddle. For parents in the audience, unlike in our time, hooking up doesn't mean connecting a telephone or passing on a resume.
Oh no.
The exact definition is situational depending on who needs to be impressed at the time. It ranges from a goodnight kiss suitable for the Disney Channel to unbridled steamy passion not seen since the car deck of the Titanic. And it's generally followed by something called the DTR, also vaguely defined. For some, mainly women, that means dictating the relationship. For others, mainly guys, it means dodging the relationship. Either way, it's plainly a very personal decision made by two people and then instantly shared with thousands of strangers on Facebook.
Sorry.
Other things also that began to change by junior year. This being Williamsburg, you had the thrill that comes with taking part in a seditious conspiracy, just by going to vote. The last senior year came. You completed your graduation requirements by finishing the triathlon, though posting those pictures on Facebook was questionable. Senior year, you took off more time to party. Only on weekends, of course. Otherwise, it would conflict with mug night and one of those duller beer nights. And things really picked up thanks to the biggest merger since AOL Time Warner, when Paul's bought the college deli. And made so many improvements, it's now actually worth it for freshmen to hop the wall. You can now describe a night at the college deli with the word class and not have to add the word misdemeanor. Social life cropped up elsewhere senior year. There was even a dance party at Swem Library, which does make some sense since that's where most people go to find dates. In fact, it was so successful next year there will be other such events. A casino night at the bursar's office. And a rave at the counseling center. Senior year, something else unheard of took place at Charter Day ceremony. People came. And without even having to be lured by a Wawa gift card. The Roots concert was also a hit, though it did totally bust the budget. So next year, the only entertainment we can afford to book is a Nickelback tribute band or Rebecca Black. And there are other big events like KD Campus Golf, the most fun you can have here. Most fun you can have here in the sunken garden with your clothes on. And Blowout, a day you planned for so eagerly you even booked your seat in advance on the Spirit Third Band. Of course, tomorrow is the big day. You finally graduate. And not everything you've learned here is important, but almost nothing you've learned is totally useless, even if you majored in English. After all, you learned quantitative skills, calculating how little work you needed to do on that final exam and still survive your pass-fail class. So now you go out into the world with a liberal education, prepared for challenge, for discovery, for employment. Okay, but 2 out of 3 is not bad. After all, you are all here tonight because you are conscientious students who wanted a challenging and broadening education. Had you been pretentious, self-absorbed, overdressed underachievers looking for easy A's, you'd be in Charlottesville this evening anyway. After all, is that a liberal education is a lifelong gift, provided above all that you continue to read. If you majored in science, start to read. Members of this class have bright futures. Many will devote themselves to improving our world and helping humanity. Others will become lawyers. Science grads will make great discoveries to benefit your alma mater, like birth control for squirrels. Those of you who slept through all of your classes can look forward to careers as air traffic controllers. And some lucky few may even have Hollywood careers like countless alumni. Glenn Close, Jon Stewart, Glenn Close, Jon Stewart. After graduation, stay in touch with the college. William & Mary wants your input. It wants your feedback. It wants your money. We do need generous alums, like those who gave us a lavish new career center, where you first found out what is meant by the term jobless recovery.
What?
So we need your donations too. Your record senior class gift was a great start, but we're also offering a new incentive this year to keep contributing. For each $1,000 gift, you can now revoke one other graduate's diploma. Just imagine it. That guy in class who even tried to answer rhetorical questions. Anyone who cut in line at the delis. Anyone who broke up with you by text. As an alum, do come back to the campus to see if things have changed. To see if the newly renovated Tucker Hall doesn't smell like a dumpster anymore. But we may have implemented that well-thought-through plan for a new fraternity complex that completely surrounds Yates. So the freshmen won't have to walk so far. Thanks to your gift, maybe there will be a second clock in Morton Hall that actually tells the correct time. And hopefully, finally, the Griffin will have found some pants. A talk on an occasion like this normally ends with a profound quotation, so I turn to a man of timeless wisdom, Homer Simpson. Craving the respect that would come with a college education, he said, maybe then people would call me sir, without adding, you're making a scene. But a more fitting quotation to end with is from someone Homer plainly inspired, who said, you're only young once, but you can be immature your whole life. Let me briefly close with something less flippant. Life knows few moments so sweet as a gathering of friends, and few so bitter as a final parting. Tonight is a little bit of both. Decades from now, when you look back, other stretches of time will run together in your memory, but each year of college will stand out distinctly as a separate chapter associated forever with particular people and particular places. For while it's often surprising how little of life as a whole is taken up with truly meaningful moments, your time here, right down to this weekend, has been full of such moments. Freeze them in your mind and frame them in your memory, so that in later life you can return to a time when you're always young and it's forever spring. But while it may feel like the build-up to graduation lasts forever, tomorrow evening things will seem to end very abruptly. Sights and sounds that you're very used to will begin fading into memory. More importantly, people you've grown very close to will begin drifting off. Maybe no college campus is ever really one big family, but certainly this one is made up of many smaller families. Circles of friends often overlapping, but each with a unique bond. Friends you can visit at any time just to talk. Friends who are always there for you. Such close contact gets harder and harder after tomorrow. With first goodbyes, it will hit home that very few of these folks will play a part in the next chapters of your story. You might not notice that something else also begins to end. Until now, you've mainly been preoccupied with the business of preparing for life. After tomorrow, you'll mainly be about the business of living it. Even if it may not seem so, right now you have more options than you've had or will have at any time in your lives. Many of you may be uneasy because that also means making choices, big choices about where to live, who to be with, how to decide on a career. Yet you've already made decisions that matter much more. These weren't decisions about what to do with your lives, but decisions about what to be in your lives, about the kind of people you would become. You reach these decisions simply through the priorities, the commitments, and the friends that you've made. You got those choices right, you'll do just fine with the ones you face now. There's a reason your faculty are confident about that. The great thing about teaching here is that we get to know you as more than just names on a roll. We also get a chance to know you as people. Your energy and enthusiasm, your modesty and spontaneity, your wit and your kindness. Now and then a professor may choose to leave this college, but never in the expectation of finding better students elsewhere. You are what make William & Mary the best place in the world to teach. And even, or especially those of us who like to poke fun at this place now and then, would be the first to stress that. So tomorrow, you leave our snug little harbor behind, cross the breakwater between present and future, and set off on the voyage of your lives. Your faculty are very proud of you, very excited for you, and truth be told, a little bit envious. So on behalf of all my colleagues, good job, good luck, and goodbye.